executive assistant, got a phone call from a lady in Birmingham, Alabama. At the end of the conversation, she said, Zig, she said, I believe this woman thinks she's got an impossible problem, but I believe you can solve that problem with her in just a few minutes if you will spend that time with her. I said, well, Laurie, tell her to meet me backstage. I'll get there about 10 minutes early. My schedule was such that was about all I had. Well, I got there, and I was on backstage behind the curtain on one side. She spotted me from the other side, and as she walked across the stage, I have never seen as much anger in a human being in my life as I saw in her. She almost started crying when she saw me. She said, oh, I'm just so glad to see you. I got this horrible job. I hate it. I hate everything about it. I hate everybody down there. I mean, you talking about negative nails, she was it. She said, can you help me? Now, understand, I've only got about 10 minutes. So I looked at her, and one thing I have learned, I don't do counseling, but I talk with a lot of people who do, in psychology, psychiatry, and the ministry. And they tell me that everybody who comes to you with a problem are not necessarily looking for a solution. I couldn't understand that for a long time. Why do they bring you a problem if they don't want to solve it? Well, I can tell you why. They want to tell you about it, you about it, you about it, you about it, and you about it. And if you foul up the deal and solve the problem, they can't tell you again, you again. They want the attention that goes with the problem, and every company just about it has that kind of an individual. They want the attention that goes with griping and complaining. Well, I looked at the lady, and it wasn't unkindly, but firmly I said to her, yes, and you know, ma'am, I'm afraid your problem is about to get worse. She said, what do you mean? I said, I believe they're going to fire you. She was stunned. I couldn't have stunned her more if I'd hit her in the face with a bucket of ice water. She said, fire me? Why on earth would they fire me? The inflection in her voice clearly said, they're the bad guys, I'm the good guy. Why don't they fire them and keep me? Have you ever noticed that people who are the problem never recognize that they are? They're in complete denial. They think denial is just a river in Egypt. Why would they fire me? I said, ma'am, I don't believe there's a company in America big enough to contain this much poison in one small spot. Have you ever noticed that when somebody is about to lose something they've been complaining about, whether it's a car, a home, a mate, a job, or whatever, when all of a sudden it appears they're going to lose them, it takes on brand new value. She looked at me and said, well, what can I do? I said, do you really want to know? She said, yes, I do. That's the reason I came to see you. I came looking for help, but you sure haven't been any help so far. I said, well, ma'am, I've got an idea, and I will absolutely guarantee you it positively, definitely, absolutely will work if you will just do it. She said, I'll try anything within reason. I said, okay, when you get home tonight, all of your household tasks are complete. It's bedtime. Get off in a room right by yourself. Get a sheet of paper out, and at the top of it, write, I like my job because. She interrupted me. She said, that'll be easy. I don't like nothing about that job. Don't like nothing about those people down there. And I said, well, just as a matter of curiosity, do you work there for benevolent reasons, or do they pay you for working there? She said, well, I got to confess, they pay me. And I said, and you don't like to be paid? Oh, she said, yes, I do. I said, okay, tell you what you do. Open your notebook right now. We'll start our list of the things you like about your job. They pay you for working there, and you do like it, don't you? She said, absolutely. But she just stood there. I said, no, open your notebook now, and we'll get busy on the list. She just stood there. I said, ma'am, let me tell you what my experience in life has been. I've discovered that in 100% of the cases, no exceptions, people who won't take step number one never take step number two. You see, she had come to me with an impossible dream. Her dream was that nice Mr. Ziegler was going to solve all of her problems, and she would live happily ever after. But folks, I got news for you. I can't solve her problems. I can't solve your problems. But I will give you some steps that I'll absolutely, definitely, and positively will work for you, as it worked eventually for her. I said, well, ma'am, let me tell you something. Unless you're willing to take step number one right now, it's been nice talking with you. She angrily opened her notebook. Before we got through, there were 22 things she liked about her job. Not only did they pay her for working there, they paid her above average. She had 3 weeks vacation with pay. She had a retirement program. She was in on profit sharing. She had health insurance, life insurance, and accident insurance. She lived less than 10 minutes from home. She was in on management decisions. The company sent her to 3 seminars a year to be paid for. She had her own private office and parking place. 22 things that she liked about her job. Now I said, ma'am, when you get home tonight, everything is finished. Get off in a room right by yourself. Close the doors. Change one word from I like my job to I love my job. Get in front of that mirror. And folks, I cannot say this strongly enough, but I'm going to try. The eyes are the windows of the soul. Look yourself in the eye. And with excitement and enthusiasm, say, I love my job because they pay me for working there. I love my job because they pay me above average for working there. I love my job because I have a wonderful insurance program. I love my job before every one of the statements. You will sleep better that night. You see, there's something hidden in what I'm saying to you now. When she says, I like my job, she's really saying, I'm grateful for my job. And of all of the emotions we can have, according to Hans Selye, the #1 stress specialist in America, the healthiest of all human emotions is gratitude. I said, you go down that list. I like my job. I love my job, rather. That is a way of gratitude. You'll sleep better the first night. Tomorrow morning, when you get up, get back in front of the mirror just before you go to work. Get back in front of the mirror and repeat the process again with excitement and enthusiasm. I love my job because, and take the list with you. Because the reality is, you see, you will have started to change from a fault finder to a good finder. Some people do really find fault like there's a reward for it. They really do. Take the list with you, and you will be able to add to that list, absolutely guaranteed. Do this every morning and every night, and you will have an astonishing recovery from this advanced case of stinking thinking. Now, I didn't say that to her, but I'm saying it to you. That's what it was. It was an advanced case of stinking thinking. Well, 6 weeks later, I was back in Birmingham, Alabama. I was doing a follow-up sales seminar. Now, the lady was not in sales, but she had been listening to my tapes. She had been listening to Automobile University, and she had discovered that everybody sells. Everybody who will ever hear this is in selling. Whether you're a school teacher, a civil service worker, a military personnel, an executive secretary, it doesn't make any difference. What you do, you sell every day of your life. There she was at the sales seminar, seated on the front row, grinning so wide she could have eaten a banana sideways. I'm telling you, you're talking about somebody that was excited. She was turned on. I said, well, how you done? She grinned even more broadly and said, Mr. Ziegler, I'm doing wonderfully well, and thank you for asking. She said, you cannot believe how much those people down there have changed. I got to lay it on the line, folks. You're not going to change anybody else till you change you. Everything really does begin with you. Now, you see, the unfortunate thing, this lady had been raised in a very negative environment. First, her parents had told her that she'd never amount to anything. They had said, you know, you're always late, you're always sloppy, why can't you be like your brother or your sister or whatever? When she got married, her husband had continued it, and so her self-talk had become completely negative. Everything that she said about herself was negative. Like Dad said, I'll never amount to anything. Or like my husband says, I can't do anything right. But when she started changing the input, then some radical change.
What's up, Fire Nation? Another bonus episode coming your way. This one was a great chat. I had a lot of fun with Terry Wilson. Terry is a serial entrepreneur who offers entrepreneurs and solopreneurs the tools, training, and technology needed to earn and enjoy more. For the past 13 years, he's helped thousands of hungry individuals discover their thing, develop the skills to do it, and be given a strategy to deliver it to market and produce value. Terry has a weekly podcast that can be heard on iTunes, Stitcher, and at terrywilson3.com. He also wrote a book called You Are Worth More, which you can check out at youareworthmorebook.com. We have a lot of fun in this episode, Fire Nation. I truly hope you enjoy. It's hard. It is hard work to achieve uncommon success. But you know what else is hard, Terry? Being broke.
You better believe that.
Living paycheck to paycheck, not being able to support your loved ones, not being able to support yourself, not being able to get up in the morning and do something that you want to do, but doing something you have to do. That's hard too. So Terry, my call to action for everybody here is choose your hard. Like back in 2012, it was hard. I spent 32 years of my life doing hard work and making the wrong decision on choosing my hard. I was going down the wrong path. I wasn't having any success. But then I flipped it and I said, you know what? Building this business, Entrepreneurs on Fire, it's going to be hard work. But the alternative is hard too. So I choose the hard of building a life of freedom, of building a life of choice, of building a life of uncommon success. And that's my call to action to everybody hearing our voices today. Choose your hard.
Choose your hard. Boy, I love that. You know, because there's a high cost of low living. And sometimes we think that, you know, we're just going to get out of this easy by taking the path of least resistance. And boy, sometimes the end of that path is just a tiger. I'm telling you, brother, I'm telling you.
Identify your big idea. Not be a weak, pale imitation of somebody else's big idea, which most people do. They're like, oh, look at what Terry's doing. He's so successful. Look what John's doing. I'll just copy them. And then you wonder why you fail, because you're a weak, pale imitation of those people and you will never win as a result. You need to come up with your big idea, your zone of fire, and wake up every day on fire, living that life. That is the life that you deserve. Because what at the end of the day do we really want? Freedom. The ability to wake up and do what we want, where we want to do it, with whom we want to do it with. If you have those three things, what more is there in life? And you can give yourself that gift. Just take it.
Which is identifying, why are you here? You know, I like to say it this way. You're not a cosmic accident. You didn't show up on planet Earth because lightning struck a mud puddle billions of years later and you crawled out. You're a significant person with a significant reason for being here. There's a reason for you to be here. And once you identify that big idea, as John just said it, life becomes, oh my gosh, becomes unimaginable. Give us another. Go ahead.
Just on that point real quick. I mean, I think it's so key for people to understand this, like what Terry is just sharing. There is so much wisdom out there in this world, but there's also so much noise and it's chaotic. And sometimes it's so hard to really cut through all of this and to really get to the meat and potatoes, to really get down to what matters.
Does anyone know Terry's story, what Terry did?
I do.
So Terry sold musical instruments, sold pianos, right? And what was it? Was it 9/11 that created the problem?
Yeah.
9/11 creates a problem. Nobody wants to go. There's no money in town anymore. It's a brick and mortar store. Some woman comes up to him in church, some older woman, and she's like, I was thinking about your problem, and the Lord told me you should sell them on the computer. Sell your pianos on the computer. And Terry's like, that's a great idea. I got to get out of here because you're crazy. So, of course, he does it in that sweet way where he says, oh, bless your heart. And
Bless your heart.
He thinks about it. And then he's like, you know, he told me about the story about, you know, the guy, it's a flood and, you know, you should get out. No, the Lord's going to save me. And at the end, he goes to God and says, why didn't you save me? He's like, I did. You know, I tried. I sent you the news report. I sent you a helicopter. You know. So Terry takes that and he's like, God's telling me what to do here, right? So I should do, that was the message. I should sell these things online. His first thought when the woman tells him that is, how am I gonna, because she said her grandson sold CDs.
On eBay.
Yeah, Terry's like, how am I, you could just put them, I can't put a stamp on a piano, this is crazy.
Drop it in the mailbox.
Yeah, so next day, right? The next day he starts selling, sells them out in a week. So he doesn't think about, he doesn't latch on to his idea of I can't ship these things cheaply, right? He just goes past that. He goes, well, what's my first solution? My first solution is I got to sell these things. That's all he's thinking about. He sells out his whole inventory in a week. Then the problem comes to him. How do I get rid of these things? I've now sold them. How do I deliver them? So what would you guys have done?
Hire a U-Haul and drive them out there.
Yeah, that's what Terry did. Terry got a truck and just was like, well, I'm gonna take my brother-in-law. We're gonna go around the country. We're going everywhere. And he delivered pianos for 2 weeks. That's amazing. And then, and then he's like, oh, and the next thing is I talked to someone.
Welcome to TerryWilson3.com, home of TW3. Are you ready to take your money, business, and life to the next level? You are worth more, and you're about to hear how and why. So buckle up and listen up as we journey to the next level. Please welcome your guys to reach your goals, the TW3 family.
What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing?
What's today's episode? Do you know the number?
I think it's 5:15. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Let me
Hey,
look.
everybody, you're listening to the TW3 podcast. This is episode probably 515.
Probably 5:15. Why don't we pay attention and prepare?
Numbers are hard.
It would help. It's 5:15, and today we're talking about the 541 business plan.
Sounds like an area code.
That sounds like a baseball play.
It could be. But what if you could get 5 customers right now for $1?
So that's a good deal.
That's a BOGO.
That's a buy one, get several.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
That's pretty cool.
Here's the deal, guys. What, in your opinion, over the last decade of doing this, you guys have seen the ups, the downs, the ins, the outs. You've seen everything that we do. You've seen the products that we put out that have been great. You've seen the products that we put out that's been not so great. You've seen the trainings that we've done. It's been, just very impactful. You've seen the trainings that, you don't always hit a home run. But in your opinion, what do you think has the most impact on the people we serve?
I'm going to go with a basic answer.
All right.
But considering our history,
Yes.
how we got started, and the feedback we get, any trainings or tools or anything that we put out there that eases the pain of finding quality clientele, that typically is the home run, the moneymaker. People tend to really like that.
People love that.
That would be my guess.
And what thing do you feel like always we get the best results from every time we've done it? People walk away impacted the most, have the most go-go juice. What do you got? What do you got? Conference. Well, here's the problem, guys. In thinking about this, we only charge a couple $100 to come to the conference.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a 2.5 day thing here in Greenville. It's very impactful. 80% of the people that come back. So our retention rate's always been great.
People like it.
People like it. Now, COVID's been disruptive. Last year wasn't, we sold
You guys
over.
didn't know.
Yeah, we sold. In case you didn't hear about this thing called COVID.
In case you were luckily in a coma, which is weird to say that.
Unless you were one of the few and fortunate blessed people that's been out of your mind
from 2019
heretofore. But
year 3 coming up.
Nevertheless, it's always been the one thing that we just get rave reviews about and it's thing. And we got to thinking about, okay, last year was, in all transparency, a loss because it was a little over $10,000 invested. And because of COVID and travel and everything else, it wasn't as many as tickets that we are actually sold. So it was, it was
understandable as to why a lot of people just couldn't make it.
Couldn't make it.
Totally get it.
But the people that came, rave reviews, a lot of value, and many of them have taken to the next level. Okay. So this year, COVID seems to be, knock on wood.
Hollow. That's weird.
Did you hear that? That's
hollow.
That's a B flat.
Literally have a wood panel right here, but sure. Your desk is made of wood, but sure, we'll hit the head.
But looking at it, COVID is seemingly dissipating. Hopefully.
Don't jinx us. Knock on wood.
Knock on wood again.
That's weird. I got a notification that it's coming back.
Yeah. Mask up, boys. But there's this thing called inflation. There's this thing called everything going sideways. And so we were just testing the waters. And everybody wants to do a conference, but very few know if travel's going to be available.
It's tough.
It's tough.
Yeah. We're in Greenville, South Carolina. The odds are you're probably not in Greenville unless you live here.
Well, we can look at our records and see a lot of clients in Florida, a lot of clients in California, a lot of
Texas,
California,
New York.
So how can we bring the conference experience or get that conference experience to them. And the one-on-one, the meet and greet, the meeting with, them, and bring value.
We go stay with them.
That's
their
right.
house.
So here's what we're going to do.
And we use their computers.
We're moving in with all of our members.
Yeah.
So if you got an extra bedroom,
It's called T&B.
T&B, that's right. No, we've thought about it. Your mother had this idea. She says, I know nothing about your business. I know that's not my thing, but I got this thought last night. Why don't you just go to where the people are at? And so the more and more I thought about it,
It's a good idea.
the more and more I was like, okay, they wouldn't have to travel, so the travel expense is down.
Yep.
They wouldn't have to get hotels because we're in their area,
Yep.
potentially.
And it's for the small price of,
$100.
I thought we were staying at their house. No. Yeah, it's $100.
So here's the deal, guys. For the next 10,
So we've sorry, I know you're going, but I'm just thinking you've lowered the price.
lowered the price,
Lowered the price of the tickets, lowered the travel, lowered the food expenses.
lowered every single thing
Yeah.
that could be a financial drag on you being able to come to the conference.
Yeah.
Because we're coming to you. And so we've got some cities already lined up and talking to: Orlando, Florida; San Antonio, Texas; Houston, Texas; Greenville, South Carolina; New York. The town's so nice they named it twice; Atlanta, Georgia;
Wow.
San Diego, California; and Richmond, Virginia.
That's right, guys. We are going on tour.
We're going TW3 2022 on tour. So here's the
really
deal. These are areas that we already have hosts. That they're saying, we're going to find the hotel and the conference room for you. All we need is a small conference room, around 25, 30 people. It's not a big thing. We're going to go there. Every business owner that wants to come, whether they're a member of TW3 or not, they can come for $100. We're going to show how these tools work. Everybody that comes that is not a member, here's what you're going to get. If you're not a member, you're going to get that 1-day intensive training. Of course, if you're a member, you're going to get that as well. You're also going to get $3,500 in software for a 10-day trial period just to check out. We're going to take that software, we're going to load it with 500 opted-in leads that fits your specific industry. And during that day, we're going to train you and show you how to use these tools so that the following Monday, when you go into the office or the retail shop or the restaurant shop or whatever, if you're in direct sales, you've got a stack of customers waiting to buy your food, waiting to make an appointment to go see a home, waiting to make appointments to talk to you about insurance. Whatever business you're in, after that conference that weekend, you're going to be using our tools trained by us with absolutely no obligation. Because here's the thing. If it don't work, then don't worry about it. You just got an incredible training. You got 500 opted in leads and you paid only $100 for it. But I'm betting, just because I know my business, I know my tools, I know what they do.
You're betting on yourself that it works.
I'm betting that you'll be begging me to buy it.
That's a good deal.
Yeah.
And that is a great deal. So if you want to be able to come to the 541 Business Conference, the Business Growth Conference, here's all you got to do. Go to terrywilson3.com/541 conference. That's 541 conference. That's terrywilson3.com 541. That's the numbers, 541 conference. terrywilson3.com/541 conference. We're going to be able to get you signed up. And next week, we will have dates for some of these cities ready. But we're coming to a town near you. We're only going to be able, as you can tell, hold 25 people per city, because we're only going to get one of these small, conference areas. But we're going to come in. And then here's the other thing. We've got Miller Time has already said he's going to host one. Miss Spelling Bee said she's going to host one.
Very cool.
Greenbacks is going to host one. Scott Batson's going to host one. And we've got about 4 other people that I haven't gotten in contact with yet, but I'm sure they will be host as well. So what's going to happen
is not only are you going to have all the tools you need to succeed, not only are you going to have the training that you're going to be able to walk away from this conference, because it's one thing to go out and get software. You can get software anywhere, right? But you can't get the how-to.
Exactly. And, worst comes to worst, if you don't think this is for you, or you don't think, this business is for you, you're not going to walk away with nothing. You're going to walk away with a lot of business knowledge. You're going to walk away with a lot of life advice and all of these new
And the 500
tools.
leads.
Yeah.
500 leads.
So even if it's not for you, worst case scenario, you still walk out with value. You still walk out with a lot of, I don't know, just
That's good.
structure, I guess.
You're walking out with stuff in your hands.
Yeah.
And here's and Reagan, and you know this, River, you know this. It's not like what we offer can't be bought anywhere else.
Sure.
Right.
So I'm telling you
say
right
that all the
now,
time,
I'm telling you right now, if what we give you at that conference, if what we give you has no value, then you take those leads that we're giving you, you load them into whatever system you like, and go because you've got 500 opted in leads that are industry specific to you.
Yep.
Okay. And then you say, hey, I got 500 leads for 100. You can't buy that anywhere. You cannot get that deal anywhere.
It's true.
So it's worth just what you're going to walk away with. But then we're going to give you this software to try out, check out, see if it works for you. And hey, let's say, for instance, all I need is this one component. Yeah, Terry, your thing does all this, and all this, but I'm in this business. All I need is this one thing. Well, it might be just a $30 piece that you need. So it's not like I want you to hear me on this. It's not like I'm trying to twist your arm and buy $3,500 worth of software. No. What I'm saying is I'm going to give you $3,500 worth of software to try out, and then maybe you only see a component in there that's worth $30 that you need. Well, take it and run with it.
Yep.
Or price shop me out. See if you can get it cheaper anywhere else. I know what I'm doing. That's the reason why I'm making these offers, but go for it.
I think it's what you've done. Actually, no, you didn't do this, so don't you dare take credit. What mom has done?
What your mother has figured out.
What JW3 here has done is no, but it's smart because it's fixed problems that we've had in the past where it's hard to get people. It really is, and I don't blame them either. It would be hard to get people to travel across country for 3 days. It's a lot of expenses.
Yes.
And
Exactly.
most of the time, what they're paying for, they have the apps and all that, but they're getting that training. That's always, and we say it, after every conference, the value there is the mindset and the connection that you get with the people there, and just the way we help you think about how our business runs.
Right.
Because more often than not, it seems to be people will have an idea of the tools. They have an idea of what we do. They have an idea of how they can apply it. They come to the conference, they talk to you, and they see a real demonstration and a real conversation one-on-one in person where it's like, this is what I'm looking to do. You can kind of help them with that. You can walk them through it. But more than that, it's just that connection piece where it's like you're around other people that are like-minded. They're also trying to do the same thing. And we see it time and time again. They explode after because they borrow these little bits of information.
A little bit here, a little bit there.
Oh, yeah, I could have done it that way. Or they're just, you go out to lunch with one of the people that you're there. So the negative side of the way we used to do the conference, having to travel, all the expense that comes with that, totally understandable. It's been alleviated.
We've alleviated it.
And the bonus now is there's still all those connection pieces. Terry's still going to be there. Unfortunately, I will still be there, I know, but I'll try and be quiet. But the point is,
and it's cheaper. We've lowered the price.
It's cheaper. Now you get the app and the app.
And we're giving you software and leads.
Software, yeah. So
it's
a good idea.
We're literally putting tools in your hands in the first part of the morning. We're giving you tools.
Yep.
We're going to show you how these tools work. And then the afternoon part, we're all going to be using it. I'm going to show you, hey, how many in here's in real estate? Okay, here's what I want you to do. Use your tools. How many in here's in insurance? How many's in direct sales? How many's a retail restaurant?
Yeah.
And we're just going to, here, if you're in this industry, take your tool and do this real quick.
Yep.
And you are going to see in real time results.
Yep. Yep. No, I like it. I like it a lot. And this is cool.
It's very refreshing. In all aspects of the world, if you work, whatever, you are impacted by inflation. Over here, the way we run it is deflation. we're taking those numbers.
We're deflating everything.
We're deflating your expense. So I don't know what you're chanting out there, but you can just say, go Terry. just say go Terry, and I'll take that as not a derogatory comment.
Mm-hmm. Here's a good way to think about it, because and you can shoot me a look or something if you don't like what I'm about to say. Whatever. But we've said it before. The conference already, in every year past, it's never been done for the profitable side of it. Because if you look at just the raw dog numbers of running that conference, we always lose money on it.
Yeah.
You're always going to lose money. And that's fine. That's how, no event planners and most of them will tell you, you're typically going to lose money when you plan an event. It's just how it goes.
Right. It's the investment.
But it's an investment, and you're investing in your people. And so I do think it's really cool that we went, man, we didn't make, we're not making money at these conferences, but we always do them. We always get excited about it because we know, it pays off in the end. We've seen it time and time again. And so to now be able to go, we're going to do, 6 of these, we're going to do 10 of these, we're going to do 15 of whatever it is, however many cities we can do in one year, touching more people, making it cheaper for them to get into. It's exciting.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, we were never, like I said, we weren't doing it to make a profit. And now we can make it more affordable so more people can come. And we've seen, in the past that we know it works. We know that people get value from it. We see them take off after every conference.
Absolutely.
So it's super cool.
And here's the thing, and I just want to bring this back for our members real quick. If you are a member and you would like to be a host of one of these conferences, because I want to let people in on a little bit on the inside here a little bit. These are people, we have elite members in these cities right now, and they're hosting. So I want to explain what they're doing is putting butts in the seats. They're putting butts in the seats. They're going out and marketing. We're helping, but they're marketing and getting people to the conference, okay? And they are helping me locate, because they know their town. I don't. They're helping me locate a hotel that, it doesn't have to be some fancy schmancy, just a clean, nice place that's got a room that a couple $100 to $300.
Yep.
And then the $100. Here's the numbers. I want everybody to understand this. I'm charging $100 a person. We need a minimum of 20 to 25 people. That's $2,500. That pays for the room. That pays for the airline tickets for us to fly out there. That pays for our hotel rooms, and it pays for our meals. That's what it's going to cost for 2 people. Okay, so we're not making money yet. What we're doing is going out there, giving value, showing you how to use these tools for your specific business and on a small scale. And what I mean by that is with a small group of people, so we can spend more time with, because if we put 100, 200 people in there, we couldn't spend the time. So the people that's going to be in those rooms are going to get a lot of value, not just from me, not just from you, but even our host, our trainer, because you have to be an elite trainer to host. So if you're out there and you're an elite member, and you would like to host one of these events, here's the reason why you would be incentivized to do this. Everybody that comes to this conference, the real estate people, the restaurant people, the business owners that are looking for ways to overcome this inflationary effect, everybody gets involved and buys a tool, whether it be that $30 tool or it may be one of our $10,000 products. I don't know. But that's all goes to the host.
Yep.
It's not even, all we're doing is supporting our trainers and our sales force out there that sells TW3 and trains on TW3. This is a way that we can support and train them, help them in their business. So that's the model right here if you want to know what's going on. So if you're out there and you are a TW3 elite member, then this is just one more way. If 25 people are there, let's say half of them do something. Let's just say that's 12 people. At a minimum, you're going to make, let's say, $1,000. Even if they buy that 30, people don't understand this, but even if they buy that $30 app, the way our system works, the minimum you're going to make decent. So average out, say 1,000 people. Well, that's a $12,000, $15,000 weekend you just had. If you just had a subpar weekend. So it goes straight to them. This is just us helping our resellers and our trainers out there become more profitable.
Because this is a good tool for the amount of times we've seen guys that say, well, they like it, but they want a real world application of it, or they would really like, a trial period or something. And of course, we don't offer trial periods on our software when it's just an online basis for obvious reasons. But, now that we can go there, for any of those guys that you have that's like, well, I really like it. invite him. Say, hey, $100, you can come out, you can see the guy himself. He can walk you through how you could use it.
Yep.
Because that's a perfect way to get people introduced to how we do what we do.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing is, there's just something about, I am a creature of the internet. I love online marketing. I love podcasting. I love this content marketing that we do. And it definitely has helped us scale a business that we otherwise couldn't if we were just dependent upon local. But there is something about face-to-face knee-to-knee that Zoom calls can't replace, podcast can't replace, because then I can sit down with you and we can have a dialogue and we can go back and forth, and I can look at your laptop, you can look at mine, and we can, do things you just can't do. And I think that's what makes these
conferences special.
Yeah.
No, I agree. It's very exciting.
I'm excited about it, guys. I mean, our app is, something that is very strong. I mean, I would put the tools that we have up against anything. The ability to generate leads, the ability to manage your leads, and the ability to be in literally any industry we want to be in. I mean, we've never been in this kind of position.
And that's not being hyperbolic. The amount of people that need just a CRM, just something to manage their clients. You can go from the medical field to a car lot, and everywhere in between, there's applicable and valuable ways to use it.
Yeah. Yeah. And so for our hosts, the folks that are going to be hosting these conferences, all they got to do is figure out, what industry that they have the best rapport with, the best inroads with.
Yep.
If I'm doing this, like one of the guys that I know down in Atlanta is an insurance guy. I'm going to say, how many of your agents do you want to have there? And I'm going to work out a deal with him to where, he can be an affiliate of mine, because he's not, necessarily. And of course, we'll talk to Bobby as well, see what he wants to do. He gets first right there. But I've already got some inroads in that area just because of my insurance background. Yep. So if I'm a host, what I'm doing is going out to these sales organizations and saying, hey, do you want your sales force basically equipped and free leads? I mean, $100. I mean, every salesperson that's on an insurance, real estate, or a direct sales company ought to be sitting there in that seat, getting those leads, and then seeing how to use it so that they can do something that the others can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, let's say that you and I are liars, right? Let's say every conference has sucked and all of our members hated it, even though you can look at their actual feedback. But let's say that it's $100. If you don't like it, it's not that huge of a risk.
Yeah.
And we're coming to you.
We're coming to you.
It makes sense not to come to Greenville if you live in, San Diego.
Yeah.
Like Ron, he takes a huge risk. It's at least that first time when he comes out, because that's a big trip.
Yep.
But now we're coming to you.
Yep.
It's $100. You're going to get leads and app. It's worth it.
Yeah.
There's really no downside to it.
Why would you not be there if it's just to pick up your free leads?
Yep.
And then to sit around and get training.
Yep. I paid for gas yesterday, and it was about 70% of that. So
that's what I'm saying. For just about what it's going to take you to fill up in gas right now, we're coming to you, and we're showing you how to outpace the cost of doing business. Because the only way to deflate the inflation is to outpace. Your growth has got to go faster than the cost of doing business.
And we're beating a dead horse, but once again, guys, the value is not just the app. Of course, the app's valuable, but other people have a CRM. Other people have a bulk text, a bulk email, or whatever. It's the training.
It's the training.
It's the 13, 14 plus.
Going on 14 years.
It's the 20 plus years that we have spent, doing. I was making a joke. 14 plus years that we have spent doing this. That's where the value is.
And then the cool thing is when you get to see other elite members and other people who are very experienced in this field, and not only that, but like other business fields, you don't just pick up knowledge from us, because obviously we don't know everything, but there's going to be a guy that knows things that we don't.
That's right.
And he's going to be able to teach, and
that are using our system.
Right, exactly. So you get to learn from a lot of people that you would never think of before. So
I mean, honestly, people spend $100 just on going to networking events and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so if all you got was just the networking
out of this,
then it would be worth it. So there's just so much value here. You're going to get software to try out. You're going to get leads. You're going to get that networking. You're going to get training from, listen, I can't spell. I can't read or write half the time, folks. There's a lot of things I'm not good at, but let me tell you one thing I don't apologize for. I can put money in your pocket. I just know how to hustle. I know how to drive traffic and leads that's going to put you in a position. That's what we do. That's what we've been able to do. No matter what business that you're in, it all comes down. It doesn't matter if you're a church. It doesn't matter if you're a school. Like Reagan was saying, it doesn't matter what you do. If you don't have people to talk to,
You're out of business.
you out of business.
Yep.
And so now's the time. Get in there and go to terrywilson3.com/541conference. That's terrywilson3.com/541conference. Go ahead and get your, what did I say?
No, you didn't say anything wrong.
Oh, and
It's like we're a little gang, you know?
541. Why did I say 541? Because you're going to get 5 leads for $1. So that's 500 leads basically for $100.
Yep.
Is where that's coming from. But it's a business growth conference. It doesn't matter what business you're in. We are going to show you, along with the trainer that's going to be hosting there. So even after we've left town, you've got someone there that's local that's going to be able to help you service your account, be able to show you the ins and outs and how you can grow your business.
Very cool, Kanye. It's cool. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Who's Kanye?
That's
Our
right,
next
country.
president, all right?
Our next
Yeah.
president?
Isn't that where Obama's from?
What,
Kanye.
Kanye?
Ooh. That's dumb. That's
I'm going to have to edit that.
that's next level dumb.
Oh, goodness. Well, I hope everybody can make it out and come to one of these conferences again in those towns. Good Lord, River.
Kenya.
You know, we had someone to sit in your seat last week.
And he didn't say that.
And he didn't say stupid stuff like that. He said other stupid stuff. No, I'm kidding.
That's pretty good. I'm not going to lie, though.
That was good.
I've never heard that one.
That was very funny.
pretty
Isn't that
good.
where Obama's from, Kanye?
Kanye. You mean Kent? It's literally just a...
Okay. Or here again, those cities are, and the dates will be published
He's
next
from
week.
Hawaii, by the way.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, I was just joking.
Let's not go there in any. There's no way to win
Yeah.
in those waters. There's nothing but
Yeah.
sharks.
It was just a joke. That's
Yeah, I get it.
It's just a
And
joke.
we have no opinion on anything. We don't even follow politics. We don't even know what politics are. So don't judge us on anything. What were you saying? Trickle down.
I said
Supply
nothing.
side.
I'm not going to say anything. Because I know I'll say something and it shouldn't.
Those cities again are Orlando, Florida, San Antonio, Texas, Houston, Texas, Greenville, South Carolina, New York, Atlanta, San Diego, and Richmond. And we got a few others we're talking to right now, but we know we want to do those towns. And if you're near those areas, you definitely want to get your tickets because there's only going to be 25 per city. And so once they're sold out, they're sold out. But for $100, come on, folks.
Not bad.
Not bad at all. And you're going to, like I said, walk away. What has taken me over 2 decades to figure out, you're going to figure out in just a couple hours. And what's taken me years to come up with this product or this product and trying to figure out how does this work and why shouldn't I use MailChimp or why should I use Aweber or why shouldn't I use Bluehost over here in their CRM or why should, there's all these different things out there that you can get. What's the problem with WordPress and what's the pros and cons? You're going to get all of that information that you don't have to knock your knee against the table. I'm going to be able to show you, okay, here's how you can use a text system and an email system in a very effective way that's not going to get you black labeled as a spammer. Yep. It's going to actually have people wanting to speak with you rather than you being an annoyance to them. All of the things that, listen, I've been cussed out, I've been fussed at, all of these things I've been black labeled with certain email systems and can't use it anymore. Well, because I was learning. Well, you don't have to go through all that. Literally within hours, you can pick up and have better tools than what I started with, way better information than I had, and be, loaded for bear. Think about it. You come to the conference. That Monday, you're walking into your restaurant. You got a people that never would have come before.
Here's my question to you.
Yes.
When did you start insurance? I know it's in your book.
2008.
2008.
Yeah.
So let's say in the fall of 2008, there was somebody doing what you're doing. What value would have that would that have presented you? Let's say there's a conference where you can go in, he's going to teach you how to get all your insurance leads, going to teach you how to run it through a system, he's going to teach you how to do all that. What value would that have presented for you?
The value would have been immeasurable, to be honest with you. The value would have been, it would have been more than I could have afforded, just to be honest with you, because I was struggling. See, when I got my insurance license, by the time I paid for the licensing, the training, and the appointments, it was around $2,500. $2,500.
And for those that don't know, that was following a foreclosure, a bankruptcy.
That was borrowed money.
Yeah.
That was borrowed money from friends, family, and foes.
Yep.
And it was money I didn't have. And it was in a situation where it was do or die, sink or swim. It was, I'm burning gas. I'm burning money to buy leads because I didn't know how to generate my own leads. So I'm in this thing where I'm buying, and I went to all web leads is where I went. I had to spend a couple $100 a week that I did not have to get, 20 crappy leads that had already been approached. And I had to come up with a gimmick or game to get in front of them anyway.
Yep.
And if I would have had this then, and I could have convinced someone to lend me 10 grand, I would have taken out a loan and got a $10,000 loan for this. Because from where I started and trying to get in front of people to where I am now, and I know
which is having people come to you and go, hey, do you have time for me? I want to purchase your thing, or
you can't even put a price on that.
Yeah.
Because if you are a business person out there, and you really believe in the food that you cook, you believe in the service you provide, whether you're in hair or whatever, whether you believe in the real estate value that you offer, whatever it is you offer, if you're a coach, whatever it is you do, if you're a church, you're a pastor, you're a whatever you do, you're a dentist, whatever it is you do, if you believe in that, you know what you're doing, you're competent, and not only are you competent, but you actually have character, which means you actually care for your customer as well, then it is immensely frustrating. It is. It is immensely frustrating to see people that have less character and less competency doing better than you.
Yep.
That is an irritant. It's a burr in my saddle. It is what motivated me. It's like, I know more than these people. I'm smarter than these people.
Yeah.
I care more than these people.
You took an Enneagram test. We're probably the same because I scored competitive achiever as well.
I mean, well, we are. I mean,
we're type 3s.
Yeah. So, NETP, I think, on my Myers-Briggs. But regardless,
basically means we're a little arrogant. We think we're better than people, but it pushes us to do better because we're not going to be second or last or
I wouldn't call it arrogance because I don't. Well, maybe I am.
It can come across as arrogance.
It can, but it's just. I know I'm good at certain things, and I know I'm awful at other things.
Well, what's the catchphrase? You know what you're worth.
You are worth more. That's exactly right. And so I bought into this. Larry Reichert years ago got in my face and said, you were worth more. And my first response, River, at a fast food restaurant, when this weird guy that looked like Barney Fife came in and said, you're worth more. I says, well, I know that, and I'm glad you recognize that.
I agree.
But
I'm worth more than $5.25.
It was $4.25 back then.
Dang.
$3.85, excuse me.
On the bright side, it hasn't gone up hardly at all. So.
Exactly.
But I pointed to my manager. I said, but you need to tell her that, And
he said, no, it's her job to pay you as little as possible.
He did. He said, it's her job to squeeze as much out of you for as little as possible.
Then you learned the game, and you went, well, this is some BS.
And I said, well, wait a minute. Tell me more about this. And it was an aha moment. But the thing that he got my attention with is you were worth more. And because I could see how hard I was working, and I could see how little I felt like I was being compensated for it. And it was an irritant to me. Now, other people, co-parts, they were satisfied with the fact that they could go in. It was one of those jobs where they could just sort of coast through. And if they just stay in this little box and do this one little task, the series of tasks that they were asked to be done, that they could count on, that they had this many hours, that they were going to get paid this, and they were okay. I just have always had, from the way I eat to the way I work to the way I play, I got a big appetite. I just like a lot.
You can live in excess a little bit.
I can. And so, you know, but I've learned, but there's nothing wrong with having an appetite if you know how to direct it in a positive way. You know, it'll get you in trouble.
What do they say? Stay hungry.
Well, you have to.
Yeah.
You know, the good book says, blessed are those who hunger and thirst, not those who are fat, full, and satisfied.
Yeah.
The blessing comes from the hunger.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Well, it's something that we can speak. You and I have seen it, and other people can't really speak to it, or I guess they can speak to it, but we've seen it firsthand. And the reason this business does well is because it's not like a side fling for you. It's more than just a passion project because you lived through this. It was, hey, you are going to starve, or you're going to provide for your 5 kids and make this thing happen.
Yeah.
And for you, entrepreneurialism, something that always called you, but this was the problem to the bane of your existence. How do I get in front of people? I can sell, I can talk, I believe in what I'm selling, but how do I get in front of people?
Yeah.
And so when it starts that small and it blows up to something like this, everything you're doing, the conferences, the new material, it's not because it's like, oh, it's fun to, it's because this is what you've lived. This is what you've needed. And so you know, I work here, obviously, and I know I'm tooting our own horn a little bit, but seriously, guys, like, you know, Dad puts a lot of work and effort into this stuff, and it's not just for, you know, the profitable side of it. It's because there was real shit that he went through that has caused us to be where we are today. So if you're thinking about it and you're going, oh, you know, it sounds pretty cool. It's $100. We're coming to you. It would be worth it. I know you can't say it. It'd be worth it for you to meet Terry. You need to at least meet him. You need to talk to him. If you've been thinking about it, at least, because I genuinely believe if more people met you and just got a few seconds to talk to you about whatever they're dealing with, because I know I use it.
Yeah.
It can help them.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not just about the leads or the business side of it. There's some real help there.
Well, some businesses don't need leads. I mean, honestly, what they need is retention of what they have.
Yeah.
And that comes to basically managing your book. You know, there's a restaurant owner that we both know that I'm working with right now. He gets people into his restaurant, but sometimes other people are doing a better job of pulling them over to here, and then he loses them. And it's not because he has an inferior product or a worse experience. It's just other people are snagging him. And so it's that thing of getting, and he's always just throwing things up on his social media feed, and he's learning, you know, you can't trust that all the time because your people don't see you. And unless you pay nowadays, I mean, we've got 2,000 followers on our Facebook page.
Yep.
And I'll make a post and I look at the statistics and only 30 people saw it.
Yep.
I mean, that's just the way the algorithm works. Yep. And so you know, I think I have you favorited. I don't use Facebook too much, but point is, I'm part of the business, and even when I get on Facebook, there's no guarantee that I would see our own stuff. Yeah.
It's busy. Yeah. It's like going out, and it's more populated. Seriously, it's more populated, your social media feed, than
you could not consume everything that's been.
Yeah, than going to like downtown New York. What is it, you know? Like,
well, I don't blame them. I mean, I'm not ascribing any nefarious.
No. But you've got to be creative.
So
you've got to have a way to get in front of them.
The only way I'm going to be able to get in front of my audience is have a tool that puts my message in a polite and not a spammy and not over the top way on their phone once or twice a week, and saying, "Hey, come by for lunch.
Yep,
I'd like to buy your tea or your soda or your soft drink or whatever."
Yep.
You know, and just keep them engaged with, "Hey, the Bulldogs won Friday night. Come by and let's celebrate your first. If you buy 10 wings, I'm going to give you a pizza for free." Anything like that to celebrate. Yep. You know, that local, if you can keep it in.
And I know we've used this in the podcast before, but there's guys out there that are like me that go, "I'm not going to do that." The thing is, my wife would be all over that. This stuff works.
It
works.
absolutely works. It absolutely. And I had the privilege of talking to Cliff the other day, last Thursday, on his Clubhouse channel, and we were talking about how your story can actually improve the value of what you offer. And of course, I'm Mr. Story person here, so he's got me over there.
You got a good story there.
Yeah. And so one of the things we got to talking about was one of the things that keeps people from sharing their true, authentic self in the marketplace is the fear of rejection. Well, I don't want to be that authentic. I don't want to be that transparent, because with authenticity and transparency comes, I don't have all my stuff together. Here's where I've made mistakes. In this space that we are in right now, what we're supposed to be doing is getting off of a jet airplane and saying, well, if you buy our 3-Pill lotion or potion, you can make quadzillions. Or I'm supposed to be out there in front of the Tesla.
I was about to say, we're supposed to be in front of the Tesla.
In my garage, you're supposed to be nonsense. But instead, I talk about, I do, but here's some mistakes I've made, and here's where I fail. And I try to be authentic, because I don't always have my stuff. And we have made mistakes. We'll continue to make mistakes, and I'm okay with that. And I got to telling him how I came to that epiphany. It was your Uncle Tim and Uncle Chris. I didn't realize this, and a lot of marketers, and as I studied it out in other fields, but they were the first to allude to it. But do you know, statistically speaking, what is considered a very effective mailing campaign? Like, how many people have to respond to a mailer that goes out for it to be considered? Like, if you send 1,000, what percentage has to come back?
I think I do know this, but I could be wrong. Isn't it like under 3%?
It's 2%.
Yeah.
If you get a 2% response,
that's considered successful.
That is considered a rock. We'll do that one again.
Yeah. Yeah, think about that.
And is that I feel like we were talking about this the other way. Is that the most effective way of marketing? Through email?
Well, this isn't email. This is regular mail.
Oh, okay. I see.
I'm talking about, and this is what's called cold marketing. Typically in cold marketing, voicemail drops, text campaigns, and what they call junk mail, which, all these flyers. How many times have you got something in the literal mail and you look at it and you throw it in your trash and you think to yourself, why do they keep sending this junk?
Yeah, probably 98% of the time.
That's the point. I mean, and how many times have you gotten a robocall and it's like, I wish these people would leave me. Why do they keep? Well, here,
Sirius XM.
The dirty little secret is the reason they do it is because 2% of the people respond.
It unfortunately
works. And it works.
I hate what we're getting.
So my point is all this. Here's the bringing it back home. I have learned that if 98% of the people I come in contact with says Terry's hokey, he's stupid, he's whatever pejorative you want to assign me, if I can just get 2%, I'm gonna be all right.
Yep.
I don't have to have everybody like me. I don't have to have everyone perceive the value that I offer.
Yep.
I just got to have 2%. And if I get 2%, I have proven to myself over the last decade, I can build a business. And that's good. That's what we've done. And that's what we teach, and that's what we train. And so if you come to this conference, that's going to be in one of the towns near you, hopefully, and we're going to be unveiling other towns in the coming week. Hopefully you'll come, and we're going to show you how literally for Bobby just did a campaign the other day, $60 some odd, and already wrote a couple pieces of business, I think.
Yep.
So I don't know if it's 2 or 1, but basically, let's say you made $1,000 off a $68 investment.
Yep.
Now,
it's more than that. Actually.
Yeah, it's way more than that. Yeah, I think.
I know for one of those deals, it's more than that. So,
but the point is this: this is what it's about. 98% of the people that got that piece deleted it, probably text back and said stop.
Yep.
Maybe even called him something besides his God-given name. But the goal. But the point is, enough people responded in a favorable way that it has already made money and is going to make money because of what's in his pipeline right now. Chris has done the same thing. Gary has done the same thing. Other people have done the same thing. I just mentioned the ones that people know about on the show and stuff that we promote. But that's what we teach and that's what we show. And that a minimum, I mean, think about this. If you can invest just a few dollars, then what is that know-how worth to you? If I could teach you, River, how to take $68 and turn it into $1,000, would it not be worth your time in a day?
Absolutely.
Well, that's what we're talking about. That's exactly what we're talking about.
So with that said, we're speaking to you. Yeah, you better be there. You better be there.
It's going to be worth it.
It
And
is.
you're
Come say hey.
Worth it.
You know, sometimes he just speaks and I'm like, why do you do that?
No, but seriously, it'll be fun. It'll be good.
It'll be a good time.
You came to the conference the last year, I know.
Yeah,
Were you?
I've come to it twice so far.
Yeah, what did you think?
I loved it, honestly.
Yeah.
Like I was saying before, there's so many aspects that it covers when it comes to advice, how to do this, how to train, how to do business, how to work with other people. There's just a lot you get from it. Even if, like I said, you don't buy the system, you're going to get value.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, even if you don't get one of the tools or components, the mechanics that you're going to learn, some of the mindset, I will tell you this is going to be more mechanically driven than our ones in the past. A lot of times I'll open up with a mindset because we're talking to a lot of people that are just entering entrepreneurship and those things. I'm not spending any time on that. I'm assuming if you're there, you're a business owner, you're a business professional, you are ready to rock and roll. You're not needing motivation to do something on your own or whatever. I'm assuming you're already doing something. You just need to be successful at it.
Yeah. Maybe we'll use some of the clips in here for the promo, you know.
Yeah.
That'll be the backstory, but you know.
Yeah.
We're assuming you're an entrepreneur.
We're assuming
you know why working for yourself is valuable.
I'm not going to sell you on working for you or owning your own thing or doing, because I mean, I'm assuming by you being there, that's the headspace you're already in, and that's who we're wanting. Because honestly, guys, the economy right now is not being kind to anyone, but it's definitely not being kind to small business owners.
Nope.
that's right.
And but here's the good news, and I genuinely believe this. One of the upsides, and I genuinely believe this, one of the upsides to this time that we're in is it seems to me, and you guys tell me what are you laughing at?
I can tell you exactly what I'm laughing at because here's what I'm thinking. I think I know what you're going to say, and you can tell me if I'm wrong. It feels like we're due for a pick-me-up because we keep getting smacked left and right.
That's not what I was going to say.
Year, and nothing's good happening. So you know what? It feels like
we are due one. But
it feels like we're due for something good to happen.
That we are due, but that's not what I was going to say. For the last 30 years, I personally have been griping and complaining about big box stores. I initially liked Walmart, and I don't want people to get the wrong idea. I initially, Walmart was cool, and these things were cool.
Yeah.
But then I started seeing the effect of it, and I saw friends and family that had small retail shops and businesses more and more struggle to the point they couldn't compete with big box. And eventually, big box took over in every industry, retail, restaurant, and everything else. What I have noticed is specifically in the restaurant business right now, the mom and pops are making a comeback during this time period, and the big box is struggling. And it's because there's this whole shift in the mindset of the workforce.
Yep.
That has created this thing to where if leadership does not have their ears on the ground close to the situation, it's hard to manage properly and motivate properly from an Eiffel Tower.
Exactly.
You used to could do that, but you can't right now.
I think it's very possible we are in a revolutionary work reform.
Yeah.
Where we're going to change the structure of how you treat your employees and I don't know, just the whole thing.
Well, this is some of the things that certain ideologies try to accuse small business owners of has not been my experience. My experience is I, for a year, didn't take a paycheck so that my employees got paid. And that was the demise of my former business, and why we went bankrupt and lost the house and everything else. Because I wasn't making a mortgage payment for over a year. Why? Because I was making sure everybody else got paid. That's been my experience. I know other small business owners that are just like that.
Oh, yeah.
And so when I hear other people attack business and attack entrepreneurialism and try to think that top-down long-distance management works better than that, I'm not going to be in favor of. And the thing that they're griping about is the thing that they're trying to replace, which is you're trying to replace big business with big government. It's the same problem. You got people way up here that don't give a rip about the people here because they're not living here.
Right.
And so so for you small business people out there, this is your time. I think this is our time. This is our time to grow, to expand. We have listen, think about how expensive it is to advertise traditionally, radio, TV, newspaper, hundreds, thousands of dollars. And it was and see, here's the thing. Nobody's on those mediums anymore. Your customer, the people that's coming to your restaurant, yes, some of them are, but I guarantee you every one of them
has that with them all the time.
Has this phone with them all the time. And the problem is, if you say, well, that's the reason I advertise on Facebook or LinkedIn or whatever, great, you can do that. But have you noticed how much it cost versus your return on investment?
Yep.
And do you really have time to manage your social media channel, or are you busy making sure those orders get out, that catering gets out, that home gets shown, that appointment to sell that insurance or whatever? You can't do everything. And that's why these tools that we offer and we're going to teach you are so darn needed right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Extremely valuable.
I don't have much more to add than I agree.
I concur.
Very cool.
I think it's kind of funny that I don't think it was by choice, but I know 3 or 4 people that have left corporate jobs to go corporate. They've left box store jobs.
Yeah.
Corporate jobs.
Big box, yeah.
Big box, whether it be in an office or at a restaurant or whatever, to go work at a local, smaller run business. I've known it 5 or 6 times, and not a single one of them went, you know what? I'm leaving this place because I hate big business. Not a single one of them did that. I'll tell you what they did. They go, I hate the way these assholes treat me. I like these people because they get it.
Yeah.
Now they're making, and so, and if it was 1 or 2 people, you go anecdotal. It's the same story.
Everywhere.
It's everywhere. It's the same story every time. And if you're missing
it's in different industries.
You're hiding your head.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it just goes back to what, to a callback here, what Neil said last week.
Yep.
Neil says, I'm not going to compete on how much other people are going to pay you because, big box and other places, they got more leverage. What they're not going to be able to compete with me on is I'm going to treat you and give you a way better employment experience with me than they can.
Yep.
Exactly.
And that's how we win. And you can win in small business right now, guys. You can win by, good drama-free management.
Do you have character? Do you care about your employees?
Yeah.
I guarantee you're ahead of the curve for a lot of these big businesses. I'm just telling you. So.
There's a meme going around, which I agree with. It says there's 10 things that you can do right now, and it's talking to employees. 10 things every employee can do right now and instantly get a raise in their business. And it talks about being on time, being dependable, doing this, and don't have to have a college education to do these 10 things. Yep. And you're guaranteed you're going to be in the upper echelon. Well, I'm going to come up with 10 things that management can do right now to guarantee they get the people that can do those 10 things.
Yeah.
Because it's a co-op. It's definitely a co-op, and if you get everybody pulling in the same direction, I'm telling you, great things can happen. Well, boys, I thought this was a great podcast, great conversation. I hope people will come out to the conference we're having. Here again, we're going to be in Orlando, Florida, San Antonio, Texas, Houston, Texas.
If you don't come, we'll know.
We'll know.
I will know.
We'll know.
Okay? And I will write a strongly worded letter about it.
And we'll be hurt. We'll be hurt.
And I'll cry.
We're going to cry about it. We're going to be crying.
I don't have a lot of friends, and I was really hoping to see you.
Nah, that's true. Me and Reagan have no friends. River's got some friends. We don't.
No, I don't.
You got friends.
We honest here.
You way more likable than me and Reagan. Come on. So Orlando, San Antonio, Houston, Greenville, New York, Atlanta, San Diego, Richmond, and we got some others that we're talking to put that on. Dates will be released next week. The first 25 in each town are going to get to come in. And if you are a member, if you are an elite member, and you would like to host an event, let us know and we can get you the details on that. This has been episode 515 of the TW3 podcast. Again, if you want to sign up for this, go to terrywilson3.com/541 conference. That's terrywilson3.com/541 conference. Until next time, we will see you later.
Thank you for listening to our show today. If you have any questions or would like to speak with us about your goals, then please call or text us at 864-507-9696. Reach out to us online at terrywilson3.com.